In this module, I will be going over how to create pivot tables in Excel. As researchers, we will likely encounter large data sets that would require us to identify, reorganize, and analyze portions of our data. Excel allows us to pull out discrete data from a large group of observations and examine the information discretely. The main goal of this module is for you to learn how to extract parts of your data so that it can be studied separately. Here you have a large data set that I downloaded from the World Bank website. It has information about topography, land use, foreign investment, etc. for different countries. The Series tab at the bottom defines each of these terms. While it is possible to run an analysis of this data set manually, it's much quicker to use Excel. To create a pivot table, select Insert Pivot Table. You can select part of the data or choose to import all of the data into a new table. You also have the option of pivoting the data in your existing worksheet or creating a new worksheet. I would suggest that you almost always create a new worksheet to avoid contaminating the original data. Now select New Worksheet and press OK. You will now have the ability to choose specific data that you are interested in. Let's examine the distribution of the different statistics in specific countries. Select Country Name and move this to the Rows label. Now countries will appear to the left of the table. Now let's explore the types of data that are available in this data set. Take the series name and drag this to the column label in the lower right. Now you can see the kind of data available: access to electricity, access to improved sanitation, etc. Okay, now we want to populate the table with data. Go back to the Data tab and you can see the information is provided by year. To get information for 1990, find 1990 and drag it into the pivot table and drop it into the summation value in the bottom right. We are interested in a summary of the data, not of a count of the data. So click on the drop-down arrow next to the summation value and select Value Field Setting. Change from Count to Sum and click OK. Repeat this process to include data from 2000. So find 2000, move it down to the summation value and change it again from count to sum. You can see that there are other options. You could, in some cases, use average, min, max, or maybe sometimes sum is not the most useful. Now we can retrieve information for specific countries. Use the drop-down box, uncheck, select all, and now select Australia and United States. Now these are in alphabetical order, so you can just go down, select the two, check, and hit OK. Now you can see Australia and the United States on the left. Freeze the first panel so that you can view what you are looking at as you scroll. To freeze the panel, go to View, Freeze Panel, Freeze First Column. Let's say we were interested in comparing carbon dioxide emissions between the two countries. Here we can filter the column labels just as we did with the row labels or the country names. Go up to the series name, click down, uncheck Select All, and choose CO2. And you'll see that there are three options relevant to carbon dioxide. This allows us to compare carbon dioxide emissions between Australia and the US, as well as compare changes over a 10-year period. You have 3 questions for homework. The first question is, what are the carbon dioxide emissions per capita in metric tons for Brazil in 2006. Question number 2. What is the average annual precipitation for the US in 2011? To give the answers for these questions, place the answers, create a new sheet, and rename that sheet. Call it question 1 and 2 or Q1 and 2. Label this clearly in the data sheet 2. Go up, write question 1 and question 2, and have your answers in the cells below. For the third question, we have a different data set. This is the bug data. We collected and measured nearly 10,000 individual stream benthic macroinvertebrates. We measured body length and recorded them by stream, by genus, and by year, among other things. Your task for this question is to create a new pivot table that tallies up all of the genera, which is the columns, by streams, which is rows, for the year 2014. In other words, create a site by genus matrix that shows genus abundance for the year 2014. As before, make sure that you save your answers on a separate data sheet. Go below, create a new data sheet, label it as question 3 or Q3. In the end, save your file and upload your file to Moodle.